gotta leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
40.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one. But they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo. Soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us here. And you done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo and does us a real solid. You'll also find up top the YouTube chat. We're live on Steve's abstract today. Go drop some GMs in both those chats and stack that XP. As always, I'm Cap Jim and my co-host Steve. No any financial advice in the show. Crypto's risky, NFTs risky, meme coins except you risk and go to 0 moment's notice. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. No, Steve and I hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time here on the show. We are not financial advisors, certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, some education, and maybe a rec drink or two along the way. GM Steve, how you doing, sir?
GM, doing well. Jealous. The rec drinks are ones that I think I am just I am out on the cold in when it comes to the you're a bigger influencer than me. I did not respond initially when they were doing the addresses. I did get it in late for abstract way back in the day when they were doing the abstract.
Ever got the abstract ones?
They never sent them, which is fine. They don't have to.
You must have procrastinated. It's okay. I usually procrastinate on like the 5-figure airdrops. You just procrastinate on a couple cases of free drinks. But yeah, I like the packaging. I also dig. You can probably tell they shift from the 24-pack cases to 4-packs. I think for a lot of people buying a bunch of these, giving away to friends and stuff. I think this will play well.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying on Friday though.
That's good. Like, this is good retail packaging. Like it hits, it slaps. I think the color, the theme looks good, and it also like their font. It's well done. Like I think it just obviously bag bias here, but the only thing I don't like, I just wish they get rid of the sugar. I don't want the 5 grams of sugar per drink. But other than that, well done.
Yeah, I agree. If there's a way to do it, but I can live with a little bit of sugar, I suppose. For me, if I have I mean, I prefer not to, but you know, if it's delicious and it's something that's getting me, I mean, you're not a boozer, but if it goes in place of alcohol for me, I'll take it all day.
If I'm consuming sugar, I want like something. I want it to be worth it. I want like some chocolate, something like I want something indulgent, not just some water that I can do with or without the sugar. I actually truly prefer sugar with, like, I prefer the taste of sparkling water without sugar versus the sugary versions.
Yeah, I mean, I really like their shipwrecked one, and I really like their lime that I had when we were in Paris. So at least from my
My taste palette is sugar free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, yeah, definitely jealous of that. I will be buying on Friday, even though I am not a wrecked influencer, because I really like the product. So in case you think you have to buy me to talk about your stuff, you don't. I'll just spend money on it. I'm probably the ultimate consumer. In fact, I realized last market I was the guy who went around buying every single merch, every single piece of everything, and was not and other people were getting stuff for free. So bad job out of me, but. Do us a favor, give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room as we get started. We definitely will give us your GMs in all the different chats. Thomas said, add a little vodka and eventually you will not mind sugar. Exactly, Thomas. I do think it's a solid mixer. I have used it before. I have had other people enjoy using it as a mixer before in my circles as well. So appreciate that. Yeah, lime is really good. Be epic. Agree with that one. But yeah, give us a like, retweet, comment on the room if you are in there. We still got that. We got a few more days of 100 ape coin to give away. So on top of the general campaign where you have the chance to win thousands in ape coin. So we're gonna have another badge today.
Yesterday was Machiavelli, right?
Yesterday was Machiavelli. Yep.
Yeah, Machiavelli. I need your wallet address. So DM me now.
I think I sent it to you because I think he sent it to me. But
if,
I'll DM it to you. If not, I could probably find it out there. But I know he kicked it my way at some point. So I will do my best to locate that. Yep, I got that. So I'll DM
I think all the others have been distributed. If there's anyone missing, or if there's anyone that's still hanging out there from the travel and the MetaMask issues, let me know. Mel, I still need your addresses. I can't send it without the address. I need Mel. I need yours, and Steve will get me Machiavelli's.
Yeah, Machiavelli's in your box now.
In my box.
Yeah.
I also fancy new GM to the fancy new one of one Good Vibes Club out there in the chat. Congratulations, Dort. It's fire.
Had it on my list. Dort, congratulations on a Good Vibes Club. Dort is
King of the Good Vibes.
What's that?
King of the Good Vibes.
King of the Good Vibes. And in fact, I am wearing my Good Vibes specifically when I was picking out my hoodie I was going to wear. I wear a hoodie every single day in my frigid cold basement. I actually very specifically got my hoodie, my Good Vibes hoodie for Dort to celebrate his big purchase. So exciting stuff there. Cap, as we grind through, obviously a lot of topics to cover on today. A lot of things going on in the world of crypto, but also, I mean, I put it in the title. I feel like we're in the calm before the storm. I feel like we're waiting on the official word of rate cuts. I don't know, man. I'm just I'm sort of waiting to see what happens here. Seeing some markets that are a little bit hesitant. I do want to get your take on this though. S&P 500 anticipation of the rate cuts hit a all-time high for like the fourth or fifth straight day or something. So S&P 500, for people who don't know, top 500 companies, tracking sort of, American companies, they are all-time high, fifth straight day. Why is crypto more nervous and hesitant than the S&P, who is equally invested in these rate cuts? Like S&P doesn't care. It's just going. And crypto seems to be waiting for it. Does give me a little bit worry that, and I know we both said, hey, I don't think it's baked in. Gives me a little worried it might be a little bit baked in. The fact that we are chopping around and the traditional markets are still going.
My thought is it's not fully priced in. I think we were, it is somewhat, and I think we were ahead of TradFi. I think TradFi is catching up to the Bitcoin and ETH trade and Hyperliquid and Pump Fund and everything we've seen over the last few months, up pretty big, from Bitcoin, ETH. If you look at like the last, what do we say, 6 months, like Bitcoin, ETH, and then start going down the list from Hyperliquid to Pump to even memes like Rect and Pingu, just up massive, far greater than the S&P 500, and I think now it is starting to price in the rate cuts. I think, I mean, if we get 25 bips like is expected, I think it starts to gradually continue to grind up. I think it really does, give us that 6-month runway. That said, if we get 50 bips, or I think it just absolutely face melts. So yeah, I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think crypto isn't lagging. I think crypto was ahead of the rate cuts relative to TradFi.
Got it. So TradFi was lagging. Now we are the ones who are not necessarily lagging, but we're sort of here waiting to see what happens. So are you going into this? I mean, I guess we talk about how we play this sometimes. I'm still not playing perps. I feel like it's I know you can open them in a comfortable way where you're like, hey, my liquidation price on ETH is like 3,500 or something, or you can open them in different ways. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I'm not that good of a bettor, although I went 4 for 4 in NFL and Myriad this week. I'm not a good bettor. Consensus always seems to be wrong, like lately, especially. I mean, in general, but consensus has been pretty bad where it was like going into Jackson Hole, everything was going to zero. At Jackson Hole, everything was sending. On Sunday, we hit all new time highs. Oh my God, we're going to melt faces next week. Then we have this massive sell-off when everyone says we're going to melt faces. And I think that my emotional connection to the market and to the timeline and to that sort of thing, I feel like I can't separate this right now. And I feel like I feel like it should send tomorrow on a rate cut announcement. I don't know though. And because I feel like I'm just like kind of not sure, I think I'm kind of not going to play any, but I think you opening long positions. Have you opened long positions? How are you playing it?
Yeah, I have some open, and we'll fire probably some more today or tomorrow morning. I did. So the thing with perps is you just have to actively manage it. You got to keep eyes on it. And so I knew I was going to be out last night. And by the way, Leon Bridges, I got turned on to recently, like within probably last 2 months. Quickly became a fan. Saw that he was playing it in Clearwater, actually at Bay Care Sound. It's a new-ish amphitheater on the water, and pretty cool venue. Was impressed, although probably the most strict security I've ever seen at a concert, which is weird in the year 2025 and in a free state that is Florida. And like, again, I could walk down my street and smoke a joint. No one would care. I can't do that at a concert, not in Florida, at least not at the Bay Council. I also, like, it's part of like Ruth Eckert Hall, and which is private university funded. And I heard it's like very strict. And so I don't know. Anyways, to each their own. Not was just a little surprised to see the there was no billowing clouds of smoke at a concert, and that I might have been accustomed to. Anyways, I digress. Good show, good performer. Enjoy his music, and the concert was good. The thing that really stood out to me though is live sax. Had a live I don't know her name, but she live sax, not in every song, but in a good amount of the songs, and just jammed out. Live saxophone is underrated, and more performers, more musicians need to bring back the live sax. They need to add the sax to the band, and it just gets the people going, Steve.
Saxophone was the thing in the 80s. You can't stumble upon a 1980 song without getting a heavy just saxophone. I mean, Billy Joel just had long saxophone solos in mainstream songs.
80s, and even, it wasn't all, because obviously in the late 90s, early 2000s, music became very diverse, I feel, from rap to hip hop to alternative grunge and heavy metal, everything in between. I also feel, am I right in saying there was, or is it just my Dave Matthews memory bias that sax was a big thing in the late 90s, early 2000s?
Sax was not a big thing in the late 90s. I mean, sax was
just jam band. It was just Dave Matthews in the jam.
Yeah, jam band still used it, but sax is like, I mean, unless you're thinking of like "I Will Always Love You," which had like the ultimate saxophone solo, or like, but before that, it was just I don't know. I mean, I guess like BC Boys did a little bit of sax here and there, but that was just when they were being funky with it. Who knows if it was a sax or just a recorded thing? I don't know. But yeah, sax. I feel like sax was like, you know, Men at Work, Who Can It Be Now, and that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, Billy Joel, like every single Billy Joel song ever. There's a couple of them. I mean, of course, Tequila, the classic saxophone song. But yeah, generally speaking, it was not, I think, ubiquitous in my that was the boy band / grunge rock Limp Bizkit era when there was like boy band versus that. So yeah, I mean, it'll pop up from time to time, but
speaking of Limp Bizkit, every once in a while I get these my YouTube, the auto plays will take me to Zoomers doing reaction videos on like Woodstock, Limp Bizkit at Woodstock 99. The one that I just got most recently was some Zoomer listening to, oh man, I'm going to draw. It was one of the Eminem albums for the first time, and it was hilarious. He was like genuinely shocked. You can't say that. Like you can't say that stuff. It was just how soft our world has become from some Eminem lyrics, but it's gonna drive me nuts now. I'm gonna have to Google find out what album it was.
I mean, Slim Shady LP was very bad.
It wasn't that one. It was
in that sense for people.
It was the Marshall Mathers LP. Or maybe it was the Eminem show. I don't know, one of those two. Anyways, it's irrelevant other than it was funny watching Zoomers react to Eminem.
No, I mean, saxophone, I will always think of what's that song that like Deez would always post with Bulbasaur? It's like da 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 da. That person who like runs out, you know, that one always comes to mind. But no, man, I mean, glad you had a good time last night.
Tired, Little Dragon. I've been
I could tell. I thought something I didn't want to ask when I first got in because I got in right before. I'm like, is everything okay with Cap? Because like, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm great. I actually had a really good time. I just, you know what the real problem is? I'm a diva where I'm on. I finished 2 coffees. I'm staying at Airbnb here, and I started here. There was like a whole drawer full of Keurigs, and didn't think anything about it. And then this morning to realize that I went through 2 of them and there's none left in the thing. So 2 did not cut it this morning. Poured a little bit of cold brew. And it's like, I may as well have 0 caffeine in me. Like the coffee had 0 impact on me this morning. And I could use like, I'm not going to say what I could use, what actually popped in my head that has not popped in my head in like decades. I could use something of this morning. And, yeah, I need a colada is what I need. We'll keep it PG related. I could really use a Cuban colada this morning, Steve. I just am dragging way up past my bedtime and have been running. You just burning it at both ends lately. Staying up too late and need to get back on a normal cap, like 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. geriatric sleep schedule.
You got to lock in, man. I mean, we got a lot going on in these markets. I'm constantly hitting it up. I know we talked about Project X yesterday. We've got all these farms going on. OpenSea released their final stage of their rewards program, which this is completely separate from their historical distribution of XP. This is just their sort of, new farming program that they put out there for the NFTs they're sweeping and things. So, and I think there can be some other prizes you can win, and maybe some token. I can't remember. I can't recall. I'll have to look and see if this actually ties to token or not, but I know this is these chests are potentially unlocking things. And look, a lot of people didn't like the OpenSea farms. I get it. They didn't have to do them. I unlocked the tier 12, which is the highest tier chest. That means it's going to have the highest tier prizes. Then you can level your chests up all the way through just using the platform. I've got an OpenSea strategy. I will say this: you can connect other wallets. I'm pretty sure it is a MetaMask and not OpenSea issue. I tried to connect one of my hardware wallets yesterday to.
I couldn't get to work either.
Yeah.
I tried to use Rabby and it wouldn't work either.
Lovely. All right. Well, Chris Matter, shout out Chris. Hopefully get that worked in the next, by TGE or whenever, because I would have more treasures in my chest should I be able to do that. But it looks like B Epic's tier 12 as well. Rocky's tier 12 as well. I mean, look, like it's basically just getting another airdrop at this point, right? Like you've worked to the point where through minimum sort of spend, you're able to get yourself that chest. And now, the final 30 days, there's a countdown timer, 29 days, 3 hours and 39 minutes until your treasure chest is open at the end of the season. Thomas tier 4, not too shabby. Like opportunity to they're out there just sweeping NFTs, and they're gonna show up. And I don't know if these chests are gonna have multiple NFTs, multiple things in it. It sounds like everybody has some sort of chance. So even if you have a tier 1 chest, you still have a chance at getting a really good prize. But again, important thing I think they said in there is they are not the TGE from historical volume is not going to be affected by this program. This is a different program. This is something different. This is, your chests, your rewards, your opportunity. And like, look, I mean, someone lands a Bored Ape, or a Pudgy Penguin, congrats. It's $40,000 extra on your airdrop right there. So, I just think, pretty good, pretty fun thing. Not for everybody, but for me, it's something I'm glad I participated in to get to this point, because it wasn't that much effort for me. It was sort of just checking in the day and do some stuff. So, what level chest did you get?
I don't know, a bad one. I'm probably out. I'm probably just not gonna participate.
Yeah, I mean, if you just do, again, it's just a matter of
I did the voyages as they popped up. I just didn't get enough points apparently. So it's like tier 1 wood chest.
No. Wood chest. Everybody starts with the wood chest. It's go into your thing and look all the way to the right. There should be these treasures. See what number is on your beacon.
4.
Yeah, so 4. Not too bad. That's what Thomas has. So you got a tier 4 beacon. So opportunity to open that and win some NFTs. Again, the higher the chest, the better. So, no need to do the voyages if you're not in on it. Token swaps I found do a pretty good job on there. For those who are participating, a strategy I am using right now, for what it's worth, I am so I mentioned Project X, I get a lot of fees. So I usually take those Project X money out of Project X, and when my liquidity pool slides one way or the other, and I go swap it. For this case, I'm actually going to eat some of those fees because I know OpenSea has higher fees on some of these larger swap numbers. But in order to kind of earn myself to a higher chest, I'll basically say, look, let's say I got $100 in fees. Let's say it's costing me $12 in swap fees on OpenSea or something for me to rebalance out what my pool numbers were. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take those fee numbers and I'm going to move and level up my chest. I'm already on I did that yesterday, and I'm already on a titanium chest. So working my way up. I mean, I like this sort of stuff, and I'm excited to see what's in the box. And again, it sounds like, and Be Epic says swap abstract means for double XP is really no brainer. Didn't know that. Actually, good reminder to connect my abstract global wallet. I had not connected to the newest one. So going to link that account right now, and probably will be swapping some abstract memes on there for sure. Good look, Be Epic. Love that. Definitely helps me get my thing, get it going. But I'll be playing this game.
I'm glad they let you connect multiple wallets finally. I don't need to continue to vent about it. I'm not a fan of the program. I don't like how it's structured. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, not for you. That's okay. Not for everybody.
You want to do $100,000 in volume to get to that tier. You're basically giving OpenSea $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, they're rewarding people for putting money in, but it's like if you get a Bored Ape, I think people will gladly farm $1,000 on that.
Yeah, but how many people are farming this? How many wallets?
I don't know.
A lot. It just, I don't know. Like one person win a Bored Ape out of 50,000 wallets.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff. So like, there's tokens, there's apes, there's other things. I'm not telling people it'll be a plus EV swap. I don't know how it's going to be.
I just have a feeling most of those boxes are going to be like $10 worth of Arbitrum or $10 worth of OP. And yeah, you might, do 100K in volumes, pay OpenSea $1,000, and maybe you get a Bored Ape. Like you get a 1 in 50,000 chance of getting a Bored Ape. Most likely you're getting like $10 of Arbitrum.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe, but I mean, like if somebody gets to the highest level chest, and the higher the tiers and the higher the level chest, the better the reward. I don't know. Might be plus
EV. Not any rewards. I mean, unless I guess it is just day one, so they could continue to do this every day. It's just, I see a lot of people, they're sweeping They're not really. I mean, yeah, there's one Mutant, there's one Squiggle, there's one Moonbird, there's one Azuki, there's one Little Pudgy, and then they swept 5 Good Vibes, 5 Doodles, 5 Meebits, 5 other deeds, and 5 parallel avatars. It's like, to me, compared to like what we just saw with like Ape Chain and the program they did with the intern and the sweeps and the even the Wheel of Fate, and prior to that, pretty sure they had to, again, it's just day one, so maybe they blow out the rewards and it's significant, but Ape Chain with a fraction of the budget just gave away far more rewards than its OpenSea currently. Again, maybe
right.
they,
I mean, it's like, to your point, like, I mean, it's I think let's judge the program in 30 days and how people do it. Like, I mean, like, to your point, like, one Mutant, one Squiggle, one Moonbird, one Azuki, one Little Pudgy, 5 Doodles, 5 Good Vibes Club, 5 Meebits, 5 other deeds, 5 parallel avatars, and $1 million in Arbitrum and Optimism. That's day one. I'd be pretty happy with most of those, and I think on the top end of those are all pretty nice. Plus the tokens that they're going to be using. I'm sure though, I wouldn't be surprised if they sweeten the pot a little. Plus they're also taking their the percentage of their fees towards that. So for me, it's a fun thing to participate in. Again, it might not be your jam.
Me too. I actually just said it in the chat. I missed this. I wasn't trying to copy, because it's probably going to end up like Ape Chain Spotlight. Few people win big. Everyone else mostly spins. Yeah, that's like, maybe I'm wrong. I see this ending bad for the most of the people that are doing it purely to farm to win something big in these chests. My brain, I hunt EV. My brain says it's negative EV for me. From where I got a tier 4 chest. Like I think I don't think, unless I'm lucky and just hit on good RNG based on the prices available, I have a feeling I would get less than what I would, not just get less than what I would spend in fees. I could be wrong. It seems like a negative EV proposition for most.
Sure. I mean, I guess like what I would throw out there is that we'll see what happens at the end of the month. Like, and again, I'm playing this game knowing the risks that are going into the game, but whatever my chest works out to be, like, that'll be a good indicator on what game you could have played, right? Like, you didn't play the game, which I get, but
I did though. I didn't play the game good enough, apparently. But I was doing, every time I saw a voyage, I would complete it begrudgingly and click the button and pay the fees, and got me a tier 4 chest.
Right. Like, but the point being, like, I didn't have any massive advantage over anybody else playing this game, and I got the highest chest. I think people who did all the voyages got the highest chest. So if I get the highest chest and then I level that chest up, we can see what I get. And like, maybe it'll be negative EV and we'll say, look, that was it. I played the game. I knew the risks going into it. But to your point about being negative EV, sure, if you sort of didn't do a lot of the stuff and then you ended up with a lower tier chest and then you don't level up the chest and you get something lower, you'll be like, oh, that was negative EV. I shouldn't have done those voyages. On the flip side, if I end up with a good reward, well, then I did the voyages. I leveled up the chest, which I'll see how high I level it up. I don't know how high I'm going to go. I don't think I'm going to go to the level. Like I said, and also my strategy isn't just dumping fee money. My strategy is I'm just going to, more or less use it as my rebalancing for my liquidity pools and see where that nets me out while I do some voyages. So yeah, I mean, again, one might not be for you. That's cool. I like this sort of stuff. It gets me excited. I enjoy doing it. I know some other people do as well, but two, yeah, I mean, those people who did complete all the voyages and go through it and got a tier 12 chest, and it may be a positive outcome for them because they were. And by the way, that's actually how programs like this generally should work. People who participated the most, if I bought 1 coffee a week at Starbucks, I don't think I should have the same rewards as someone who bought 10 coffees a week at Starbucks. Like, that's how these things tend to work. So, we'll see how it nets out. Like, not for you. You didn't get the chest you were looking for. I get it. But I mean, I have fun with this sort of stuff. I'm playing it in a way that I think is going to be less farming and more just using normal activity. We'll see what happens at the end of the month, but I'm excited to open a chest. I like a good blind box. I like to see what happens there, and maybe not for you, but could be for a lot of other people. And I know we got some people in the chat who are into it. A couple people out there with the
mostly consensus was raving about it. Here's the other side of it. More, it says OpenSea rewards program has been the worst I've seen in my 4 years in crypto. You're basically asked to complete a few bot-like tasks every day. Whoever responds to this should be fired immediately. Not that harsh on it. First comment is, imperfect as the blur system was, it was miles better than this. I don't know. It's fine. go have fun with it. For those that are enjoying it, I'm probably just going to opt out at this point.
Yeah, I think there's both sides of it. I mean, a lot of people just say, not you, but a lot of people on that end are just like, just give me my free money, which is fine. You're going to get that.
Need around 1 million in volume to get all the chests, says Matto.
Yeah, so I won't be on the highest level of chests, right? So that won't happen for me. But like I will I'll work my way up.
Or to get to the to get a chance to win a Bored Ape, you need to give OpenSea $10,000, put another way.
Yeah. I won't but again, like that's like again, I think that's like reductive in how you're going about it, where you're like, to have a chance to win a board, like there's a lot of prizes. Like I think a lot of people I would
this is where I respect what I don't think it's that many prizes. Maybe they add more to it. Right now this is where I was having trouble reconciling with the consensus seemingly reception to this on X. Is I think it's surprisingly a shockingly amount of few prizes. I know it's only day one. I just don't know why we just take them at our word. Are they going to buy this amount of prizes every day? Are they going to do this every week? I was shocked once I saw the total number of prizes. I think it's a shockingly few amount of prizes, to the point where if you look at the active wallets, it's probably like right now, less than 0.01% of people that are farming this are going to actually win an NFT.
So you think the majority of people who level up their chest and spend that $1 million are going to be negative EV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the majority of people who go through all the tasks are probably going to be rewarded well. But we'll see. I mean, that's what it comes down to. We'll see what happens with that. I don't think judging people on day one prizes, like based on like that's a lot of stuff they had on day one that they swept on top of the $1 million they already had out there.
I think it's very small. I just think it's like what, 25 NFTs. It's not that many. Not that many. 50,000 people farming.
How many? This is nuts. I mean, I'm kind of surprised at this.
Like I saw the information, the number of active wallets farming this thing, and divided by NFTs. Like I think it's less than 0.01% chance of winning an NFT.
It's the day one sweep. They literally said this is just day one, like on the sweep. So like on a day one sweep, I don't know. Let's see how good ChatGPT might be at evaluating this. Can you evaluate?
Tonka says the AS rewards has been a complete turnoff for me. I love NFTs. Why support an NFT platform Legion of Dust? They're so focused on integrating fungible coins and memes, they lost sight of what actually made them great, just casually buying an NFT in secure fashion.
Well, they do need to create a product that makes a lot of money, and coins and swaps do make a lot of money. They're trying to have a consumer app. Everyone, like, whether it's, Phantom or Magic Eden or anybody, they're all trying to be the everything app, which makes sense, right? Like, Amazon should just focus on books. They're really good at books. Why are they trying to get us other products? Amazon just got books. I don't see why they're going into other things. Like, yeah, like you have to go into other products. That's how it works. So I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get a value. So let's see if they if ChatGPT can do this for me. ChatGPT has been bad since the update. It's been slow. They downgraded their image creation, which is bad. So I need to figure that out. They'll put their own one in, which is faster but worse at doing actual work. But
there's 30 NFTs currently in the thing.
30 NFTs. So
in the room.
Yeah, so right now probably like 1.3 to 1.5 million dollars in prizes on day one, depending on how you look at it. So where
are you getting that?
So the value of these being roughly
there's no the most expensive one in there is like maybe a Moonbird at 3 ETH.
Chromie Squiggle at 20,000. Let me see if ChatGPT's numbers are up to date on that. I will double check on that.
I don't think it's 100K worth of NFTs.
It's definitely over 100K, but let me look at it for sure. It's 100% over 100K. Because you're talking about a mutant worth like 6-7K. You're talking about Moonbird worth like 12-13K. You're talking about a Chromie Squiggle worth 20K right there. 5 Doodles, that's probably about 10K. 5 Meebits is probably close to 20K. So, and those parallel avatars aren't cheap either. So, we'll look. Let's say it's 1.1, 1.2 million. So there's 100K of NFTs added on day one. I don't know.
94,000 is the estimated total. So not 1.2, one little less than 1.1.
Who pulled that one?
ChatGPT just added up all the totals of the floor prices.
I just redid it, and our ChatGPTs disagree. So I just did another one. So initially it was higher than this, and I asked it for a better one. My new one says 119,300.
All right, so call it 1.1. But my bigger point is there's 30 NFTs out of 50,000 wallets.
This is I mean, it's just I look, I like I said, don't play the game, not your game. It's totally fine. I'm excited. I'm excited about the program. I like this sort of stuff. I know we have some people in the chat who are, some people in the chat who aren't. Don't worry, you will all get your free money at some point. They did
I was 2.01. It's actually, if there is 50,000 active wallets, it might be higher than that. But if there's 50,000, you got a 0.06% chance to win an NFT currently.
In the program, 50,000 active wallets. We'll see what the number is. But yeah, I mean, right. So you're like, again, one, I do think it's silly to be like, well, this is it. The program on day one sucks because they didn't sweep enough NFTs based on what they had. But you know, it is what it is. Like, everybody wants their stuff, but I'm excited to try the program and see what they continue to buy. I'm assuming they're going to continue to buy as days go on. But you know, we'll see. It's not, again, don't need to participate. In fact, I encourage people not to participate because it means that I will have a better chance at better stuff as I continue to level up the box. But I expect that number to grow. I expect like I said, let's judge them in day 30 when the box is open and when they actually have a final product. It's day one. Got a long way to go on this thing. So obviously not your jam. You've made that perfectly clear throughout. Not your jam. I enjoy it. You know, doesn't have to be for you, is not for everybody. And don't worry, the airdrop and historical airdrop will not be affected by it. But trying to find my StreamYard, by the way. I can't even see myself because in going through all these tabs and going through my stuff, I have just completely lost my StreamYard. So I don't even know where I am at this point. Well, Cap doesn't like the OpenSea farm. What else you got on your list today?
Well, keeping it with marketplace theme, Magic Eden did double their fee to 2%. Tempting to help OpenSea in their push to reclaim marketplace dominance. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not even saying this as like a joke. I don't know why you would use Magic Eden for anything right now. Maybe an ordinal. Other than that, why would you?
A lot of ordinal.
Yeah, I just, yeah. It's like, hey, we Magic Eden saying, okay, everyone go farm OpenSea. We don't want anyone to use our platform to buy Ethereum-based NFTs.
Why is Magic Eden like an all-time, like at the moment, an all-time fumble looking like? I mean, I know OpenSea has motion because of their TGE coming up, and we'll see what happens after that if Magic Eden can pick up steam again. But like, Magic Eden had so much motion. They were in the zeitgeist. Everybody was big on them. They were crushed to get. Jack was going everywhere. They had a great team. They had people active on the timeline. Now I feel like I don't know what their volume looks like anymore. I know.
And you have to assume that, okay, yeah, right now they have Solana and Ordinals. You got to assume it's only a matter of time before OpenSea turns it on. Like, seriously, what is the future for Magic Eden? I don't think they exist in a few years unless they make some major pivot. Like, what are they doing?
Your guess is as good as mine. I am not sure. I felt like they were constantly shipping and constantly coming out with new products. And now it feels like, again, like my personal, take on it. I'm a fan of like what OpenSea does, because I'm a fan of like, I think brand building is important. Like I know a lot of people are just like, they see brand building as number go up and free money and things. I think brand building is important. Like OpenSea is making a lot of efforts to be actually out there now, more so, which is what Magic Eden used to do, right? Magic Eden used to be in spaces and all over the place. OpenSea runs multiple spaces a week. They bring on small creators, do editorial content. I know most people, like, I have people who are like laughing at the idea of this being like a value add, but like when someone like Spoiled Banana Society gets more people to discover them because OpenSea features them on an article, I see that as value to the ecosystem and community. Like I see brand building as important. Like, I know they get it sponsored, but like the NFL doesn't have to give you next gen stats. They give it to you because it's good for their brand and they're able to get people on there and using their platforms and learning more about the NFL. Like OpenSea is doing the things that Magic Eden was doing and then some, and they feel like they're more relevant. Like, Hollander or Devin tweet, you see people talking about it, the spaces they're running, the editorial content they're doing. I know they have a TGE coming up, and so a lot of people are paying attention to that. But I really think that they're making more of an effort to be an actual company than what we've seen from Magic Eden lately. And I haven't seen them nearly as active. The fee thing's also funny because I know, and this is not a shot at, anyone in particular, but I saw like some of their advisors, like clocking OpenSea for raising their fees, like when it happened. And now Magic Eden's done so.
I've been getting some, I'm not going to say who, but says, appreciate Cap speaking up. Believe that it's a predatory fee structure. I don't know if it's predatory. Most people, I do think, will get back far less than they spend in just fees. Maybe not. The other thing to keep in mind is not defending OpenSea, but they are 50% of those fees that they increased are going back to this rewards pool. And quite frankly, they're getting helped by Magic Eden upping their fees. Like, it's so weird. Why now? Why? Unless they're like, oh, well, we're going to lose volume anyways. We may as well get more for those who are still dumb enough to use our platform and pay us double when there's no, I guess there's an active season or something of Magic Eden farming, but yeah, just really wild from a Magic Eden standpoint when you would think they would be going the other direction right now to keep some customers or to maybe double down on what they're doing to get out in the wild and be more active, but they're going the other direction. While OpenSea has absolutely leveled up significantly on the community front, and to your point, the spaces and supporting those in the space. Again, the farm isn't for me, and it's fine, but it's shocking. It's almost like, I don't want to say winning by default because they are doing a lot of good things. It's just they're being aided by their competitors right now, which is kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, like they did it. I mean, look, other thing I just want to make a point on here. We use words way too fucking loosely in this space sometimes. Like, people say rug or scammer or grifter, like based on something that they just don't like. Like, the fee structure is not predatory. Like, calm down. Like, payday loans are predatory. Like, the term predatory is fucking insane here. Like, and I love the person who said it, but like, let's just stop and calm down for a minute on the giant hyperbolic speak that they raised fees by 0.5%. So all of a sudden, oh my God, this is the most predatory thing we've ever seen. Like, go trade peer-to-peer then. It's permissionless software. Trade peer-to-peer. Good luck. GG's, no fee, OTC it. Go to another marketplace. Go trade on X2, Y2 and see how that goes. Like, I don't know. Like, I think there's way too many words that people use. Like, they raise their fee structure a little bit and then use that money to buy NFTs, which they're going to give back to people. And they're like, predatory. Like, that's, calm down. Like, that's,
I wouldn't call it predatory, but to defend the sentiment, I feel very like with what we know today, I'm pretty confident it's negative EV for most participants. You're going to have to get extremely lucky to win something that's more than what you're paying, not just in what you're spending, but what you're paying in fees. You're also basically being forced to spend money on NFTs or meme coins. And yeah, I guess you could just sell the same one back and forth. And then you're really truly just giving OpenSea money to get a chance to win something. I do think there's people that are going to think, oh, this is great, I'm going to get a chance to win an NFT, and not realize the actual odds. Like, even look at BZ. If you're going to go do a BZ claw draw, they show you the odds. Like, you know what your sweepstake odds are. This feels like a sweepstakes without following the sweepstakes criteria. Like, you got to pay to play. Participation. Purchase is required. And we're keeping everything behind a curtain and not going to tell you what the true odds are because it's really bad. It's not really good to get a chance to win anything in material as it is currently. Now, could they keep using up the pot? Yeah, but we gotta trust them that they're going to do that. And I just, with the data we have today, I think it's very negative EV, but it's being spun and some believe it to be plus EV. And it's misleading. It can be misleading if people don't understand that they very well could be playing the sweepstakes with very poor odds, like 0.06% chance to win, and thinking they've got, I'm going to get back 100% of what I put in. Maybe they do. again, it seems sweepstakes-y without sweepstakes terms and conditions or sweepstakes disclosures.
I don't know why we're infantilizing the people in Web3. Like, when we're talking about meme coins and everything else, it's no crying in the casino. But the second OpenSea says, hey, use our platform for the chance to win something, everyone's like, no way, this is predatory. How dare they? Like, what are we doing here?
With like Pump Fun, it's meme coins, but it's clear. The terms and conditions are clear. You know the percentage of fees you're getting back. Here, you don't. Here, it's a blind box. So blind boxes are cool, but like, honestly, like, it's a serious question. What, with these chests, make them different than a box from the BZ Claw Draw? It's a blind box, but you just don't. With BZ, you know that your odds of winning the top prize are less than 1%. Here, it's way less than 1%, but it's just not disclosed.
But what do you mean it's not? Like, there's nothing like. I'm not certain what they've done wrong here. Like, I feel like we're just like really doing mental gymnastics to be mad at OpenSea because people want a token. That's my read on this. Like, predatory, saying, oh my God, poor people getting involved in this. How dare they? They don't know it's like, if you don't know the odds, like, you know the risks going in. I don't understand why it's no crying in the casino until it's certain brands that we don't like. And then it's like, well, there you go. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that there's like a variety of like things like this where it's like people are like, oh, like no crying in the casino till it's someone I don't like. Like, okay, so they didn't give you the exact percentage of odds because they probably don't know them because it's based on volume and activity and what they sweep. Fine. Like, everybody can read that and know what they're getting into. Like, everybody has a strong idea what it is they're getting into.
I don't think so. I mean, you understand the space very well. You thought it was a lot of NFTs. I think it's very few amount of NFTs. I think it's again, my question is, what makes this OpenSea chest different than a blind box from BZ?
Well, the way you said that would imply that I was wrong when it's a matter of opinion. So I think it's
I know, but
right. But you're like, well, I don't know. You know the space well, and you thought it was a lot of NFTs. So that's pretty bad. Like,
but based on how they're positioning it, it's a lot of NFTs. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's very few amount. I think we're on the other opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of what's in the reward pool. I am giving them. I'm not finalizing my judgment today because there's 30 days with this, and that reward pool could be 1,000x between now and then, or they could do one more wave of buys, and very, very few people actually win an NFT.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get what I understand your perspective here. I guess what I'm saying is that like to see, we have different opinions on the day one sweep and the $1 million they put in there.
Yeah, like Chris says, it's day one. They could sweep 10,000 8chain NFTs on day 20. They could, or they couldn't. Like, that's my whole point. It's like, why not just tell us what you're going to buy?
They told us. They told us it's going to be based on those fees they're going to put right back into the rewards program. So based on what people are using during this farming period, they will take that money and drive it back in. My guess is they probably juice the pot more. I don't know. They're not obligated to, but they told you the exact game and structure, and people can choose to play the game or not. It's just like, I don't know. It's bizarre to me to be like, it's like me buying a ticket to a Browns game, and well, Browns bad example because they're who they signed. Like me buying a ticket to like an Ohio State game, they lose, and I'll be like, this is predatory. How dare they take my money with me not knowing what the final outcome of the score is going to be? I knew they were going to play football. I knew what they were going to do. I knew they were going to do in the field, but predatory. Like, let's just calm down on the, like, people need to take a, like, I understand your perspective. Your perspective is reasonable in how you've chosen to play it. You didn't play the game. You didn't get the chest you were looking for, or you didn't get the chest that was higher. You're not going to try to play level up. You're not going to farm it. You're going to leave it what it is. You're going to take the airdrop. That's very reasonable. I think when we start calling a platform predatory, that is like sweeping, like we want it to reward back the things. We want them to invest their own money. We want them to give user incentives. They're like, hey, if you're using our platform, you're getting these chests. These chests are ultimately going to level up into something that's going to get you things, and we're going to spend money on this. Like, they're very clear about it. So it's just, to me, like, the terms and the way it's being referred to, like, I think we need to calm down on terms like predatory and rug and grift and scam. And I think somebody, in the war room said they'd brought no value to the space, as if OpenSea wasn't the peer-to-peer marketplace that drove NFTs forward. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have them the same way that they wouldn't be as successful with Bored Apes. Like, it's just, it's a symbiotic relationship that existed when they were the crusted place. And if people don't like it, like, that is the beautiful part about decentralization. Everybody can go trade their NFTs and their tokens wherever they please. I choose not to swap on certain protocols because of fees. I am going to do it on this one because I'm going to play the game because it's fun for me. But like, people don't have to do it. And so I don't know. Like, I think like, I guess what do we want them to do? Be like, hey guys, our rewards program sucks. So don't like, if that's your, like, it's just, they laid out it wasn't like a tone. They laid out exactly what the rewards program is. They laid out what they swept because people want to know what they're doing. Because otherwise people are going to say, are they doing anything with this money? So, totally understand your perspective saying that you don't think it's enough. I think it was a good day one, but that's okay if people don't. I feel like this is just a different ball game.
I agree with Solomon. I would rather be buying blind boxes for $25 a pop like we do with Burbs than having to buy an NFT that I'm just going to immediately resell so I can pay OpenSea fees. I'd rather like pay them money and get something in return instead of being forced to trade just to get trades I don't want to make just to give them fees for a chance to win something.
But you don't have to. Like, you don't have, like, this is like the weird, like, this is an interesting complaint.
I know they can say as much as they want. It's a different pool. The reality is it's very dilute. This entire farm is very dilutive to their actual users who use the platform for the last 4 years.
It's not though. It's not though, and I can't get into details, but it's not. It's not. I can tell you
there's only 100% of the token.
Okay, but I can tell you it's not.
Token is going to this farm. You can't create extra token that if it wasn't going to this farm, it would go to actual authentic genuine users.
I'm gonna bite my tongue, but no, it's not. But either way, because I don't wanna say anything, but it's not. But the Joey, calm down with the hand wave. We'll get you, huh?
There's no way this current farm is not dilutive.
Well, it's not. So I'm telling you, I mean, it's again. All right. Well, all right. You can believe that.
Unless no one gets tokens, unless no one gets C tokens, it's dilutive.
It's all right. You can. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. The current one is not dilutive, but the thing that Solomon's saying here, nobody has to buy NFTs. I get a bonus on Starbucks. I go to Starbucks a lot. I love their coffee. I don't have to buy their macchiatos or their mochas or the things they put to me in the rewards program. Would I get a boost? Sure. Am I going to get my stores anyway for using the product as intended? Yes. So if you want to play the game you can play is just using OpenSea normally. And the people who are using the product normally, they will be successful. And the people who are not using the product normally, like they will, they will farm and do their thing, and that's totally fine. They can do that or choose not to, or to do it. Like, I will probably choose to do it, but like the idea of a program like this, Starbucks offers me food items, drink items, and other things in order for me to get myself, to try to get me to try new things. So I like them. They're trying to get you to buy gaming NFTs and things for their partners. You can choose to farm them or choose to buy them if you want. Like, just because our space tends to be more extractive in how we act, in the sense that we're like just trying to get to the farm and do our thing and buy, sell, and all those things, just because our space does that, that's not how most loyalty works. And I get it, but you don't have to do it. You could just do token swaps, level up your chests as you do your token swaps. You could just buy natural NFTs. Like, Dorp bought a Good Vibes Club. If he bought it on OpenSea, it probably did well for his farm. So it's like, that's the idea of what they're trying to do. But either way, let's Joey Valls is waving his hand, so he was trying to get in here way over the top. So Joey, go ahead and get in here.
I appreciate BZ's transparency, Joey.
I actually wasn't waving my hand. Thank you, Cap. I appreciate you saying that. I actually wasn't waving my hand like for attention. All my emojis got reset back to like yellow emojis, and I don't like the yellow emojis, so I was resetting them. So I apologize. Anyways, so quick question. So from my understanding, the boxes, like the 5% box, the 1% box, the 10% box, those are different than these boxes, right? So like from what I understand is those boxes that they said, oh, you're in the 5% tier. That's like what was the previous XP. So I believe that's what's going to be tied to the actual token, where these are their new loyalty rewards chests, right? So these are, from what I understand from reading what you get, because if you go to the rewards tab, you'll see that you could win some Arbitrum, you could win NFTs, like there's a whole, it's like the pot's up to like 1.2 million right now. So I think these boxes are separate from the TGE, and these are just their new loyalty rewards program where if you want to use our platform, then this is how we're going to reward you by, these chests. Now, I agree with Cap. It would be nice if you knew, so for example, right now I'm on the second chest, whatever that is, right? Like I cleared the wood chest and now I'm on like the steel chest or whatever. It would be nice to know, like, this chest gives you these kind of odds, right? Or like, for example, with the multi-ball thing, you knew that if you had the gold multi-ball, what your potential prize pool was versus like the regular silver multi-ball. So from Cap's perspective, I think if there was some transparency around, like, by earning this chest, you're eligible for this, or your percentages are this, or your multiplier is this. So that way you could know, like, do I actually want to go and transact to get a better chest for a potential better reward?
Yeah, it's per the article, they basically said, as a reminder, historical platform activity will be rewarded and receive its own allocation to C from the foundation at TGE. This is separate from our rewards program. They did say treasures will play a meaningful role when the OpenSea Foundation shares TGE. One of the reasons I want to connect my wallet, because treasures is just basically a way of saying, you said you want them to reward like Bored Apes. I believe they gave treasures to people who own a Bored Ape. So that treasure is getting you more TGE, which is exactly what you and other people have asked for, right? Which is, those treasures aren't related to farming, swapping. Those treasures are related to, hey, you have a Bored Ape, you opened this treasure. You had a Good Vibes Club and you held it, you got this treasure. Like, they're giving treasures for things that are related to, similar to other platforms, just the same way other ones are like, hey, if you have certain NFTs and certain things, you do well. So the treasures sound like they're going to play a role in TGE. There is a allocation of that has always been there for the historical volume of TGE for C. And then this is, to Joey's point, basically the rewards program, and there will be some sort of extras that you can potentially get here. But, again, I think, one of the people in the war room similarly said, OpenSea, you won't get diluted. Cap, I'm going to get diluted. Because I understand the perspective. I get it. But it's, just a different game they're playing that people are willing to play, and also like something that they're trying to get people to use their platform and create a reward system.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, treasures different from treasure chest. That's just poor, like, it's confusing. It's poor wording. Call it something different. If treasures are
what goes in treasure chest, usually one might say treasure. Like, it's, yeah, I mean,
but
like
you described it as the treasure chests are completely different from treasures, which are going to impact the TGE. If treasure chests aren't going to have treasures in them, which impact TGE and not be dilutive, then that's not, I don't need to keep going in circles. I'm not a fan. I'm not the only one who's not a fan. And Brickadall says, in his opinion, people are overly critical of the rewards program because they cannot mentally separate this from historical volume airdrop. Probably right. Like, that's the issue. Like, separate the two. If this is just loyalty rewards, has nothing to do with TGE, cool. It's just not very clear to me, because it's not like you're going to earn treasure in this treasure chest, but those treasures are different from the treasure.
You'd rather those be like badges, which is kind of what they are.
Yeah, called a badge.
They're basically
right
badges.
now. It's like you're saying I can earn treasures, or I can earn treasure chests, which are going to have treasures in them. But those aren't the treasures that we're going to take into consideration for TG. That's a different set of treasures.
Like a different nautical reference. Because, like, I think they're trying to be like...
Calling both treasure. They're calling one treasure is one treasure chest, but one is for loyalty rewards and one is for TGE. But yet, treasure chests are not going to have any impact on TGE. It's only going to be rewards.
I'll have to double check. They might just call them chests, and I might have added the treasure part.
No, I'm looking right now at the page. They call one treasure chest and they call one treasures. It's just very confusing. And that makes... I'm happier with that. It's not how I interpreted it when I initially read it, because they have the same fucking name. Minus one's called a chest and one's just called treasures. That's fucking confusing.
Right. That you feel like they're intrinsically tied together the way they do. I think
yeah, why wouldn't I? Like, any normal person's going to read that and it's like, oh, so these treasure chests are going to have something to do with TGE and there's going to be C rewards. What I'm now interpreting is that this current reward cycle and the wood chest or the iron chest and everything else has nothing to do with C. It's only if you want to play the sweepstakes games that are not coin a sweepstake and you can have a 0.06% chance to win an NFT that's not a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk. But it has nothing to do with TG. There's not going to be any C involved in these journeys. That's already done and decided. In S and C, the token is only going to be based off of your historical volume, what NFTs you hold, and the treasures that you have on your profile, but nothing to do with the treasure chests on your profile. Confusing as fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, that all goes towards volume anyway, and they're going to consider current, past, and historic volume, obviously, in this whole thing. And so there will be participation that exists.
So basically, the people like who already went out and did 100K in swaps just to upload their treasure chest, that fake volume is going to get them more C because they're going to reward volume.
Yes, they're going to reward people who use their platform with TGE the same way that every single protocol in the history of airdrops has done. Correct. Yes. Like me,
I mean, a lot of have like not, some would consider that as a farm, a Cybele farm, or they're whether multi-walleting or they're just doing wash trading to accumulate points or fees. Like some, not all reward that. Some back those out if it's just
and they actually have eliminated walls. There are people whose walls were eliminated that they weren't sure why they got eliminated, and they got them reinstated because they have an active measure to stop that. So they've actually talked about the fact that they actively look to stop that sort of level of farming. But yes, if people are actually using the platform, it's no different than somebody going and swapping on one of the swap protocols on Hyperliquid that ultimately gets them an airdrop from a swap protocol on Hyperliquid. Like that, it's the same thing. It's just a different platform. So yes, I mean, people who are using their platform are going to be able to get from current activity some sort of rewards. They have said that there is a historical activity, but if I were dropping a token for something in 2025, I wouldn't say anyone from 2021 to 2023 got you. Anyone from 2023 to 2025, you get nothing. Or I know it's not what you're saying. It's like a hyperbolic interpretation, but it's like, yes, like people who are currently using their platform in the rewards program are going to get rewarded for using their platform and providing them with fees. But that's just logic. Like they're not going to stop NFT trading just because there's historical people. Like, they announced a token 6 months ago. They're working towards a token. It's just like, it's going to include current activity. And I think I'm sure it'll be weighted all in very similar fashions. Like, I don't think it's going to be weighted in a way where it's like historical volume is like nerfed, or I think it's just going to be like it's the same thing as like anything else. Like if you run a mile for, if you run a 5 miles and your pace on your miles is, I mean, it's not that, it's read nobody wants to read, but if you run a mile and
if what I now believe to be true, I think it's an extremely poor choice of words.
Yeah,
all the bad instead of treasures. Yeah, treasure and treasure chest being two completely different things is wild.
So if we've worked our way now to the feedback went from, I believe that the word was predatory to, I don't like that they use the word treasure twice. I think we've moved pretty well in the direction of OpenSea.
Wash trading. They're encouraging wash trading. Like they're basically to maximize this program. Someone said, "Can I just go swap $1 million of SOL?" Yeah, go swap $1 million of SOL. Swap it right back to what you want. You're going to pay OpenSea 10 grand, and now you qualify for the top tier. You can wash trade your way to the top tier of the world.
Nobody gets mad when people do this in every single other airdrop ever. It's no crying in the casino till it's OpenSea. Like that's what's weird to me. Like it's a weird thing to me that like this is like, so I could just go put $1 million on Project X and I can get my way to the top in the farming. God forbid. Like yes, that is how it works. If you add volume to a platform,
you're providing liquidity, which helps the platform. Here, you're just giving it.
If I go spend $1 million at Starbucks, I'm gonna get more stars than the person who bought a coffee every day. It's just completely predatory. Like it's just yes. If you spend money on a platform, you are going to earn towards a rewards program. That is factual. And UCAP will get rewarded for historical volume. That's how it works. They said as much. Like I don't know. I think people are just ornery and they want their
this is my whole point. Is like they're encouraging wash trading. They're encouraging do $1 million of swaps that you don't actually want to trade, but go do it so you have volume. You're not providing liquidity like you are in Project X, which is needed for the platform to operate. Here, you're just giving them fees. They're encouraging wash trading, which will dilute original active users. Like they're taking a chunk of C and allocating it towards current trading, which is being heavily incentivized to go do wash trading. We've all been encouraged to do wash. I've been doing it. I'm part of the problem. I've been buying the $5 base NFTs this whole time and selling it right away. Not that I want this NFT, but because if I don't, I'm not going to get part of that allocation that's been carved out for, the new wash traders.
Yeah, I think at the core of this, it comes back down to the fact, and this isn't me pushing back on you. This is actually me understanding your perspective. So don't take this as like, this is me pushing back. I think the core of this is, when we get down to it, forget like the language, the whatever, the fees, the this, the that, the treasure chest. I think the core of this comes down to there's a contingency of people, and I'm not knocking these people. Again, to be clear, I'm not saying this in a shaking my fist way. There's a contingency of people who feel that OpenSea was built on a lot of trading volume from 2021 to 2023, and now they feel like they just want that to be over, and they want to get their allocation for that, and they want it to be finished, and they don't want this other part. There's a different contingency of people, and this is more where I sit, where they are building a brand. They are trying to grow for the future. They are trying to test and learn things. They are doing things where they're trying to reward people who are currently using their platform and people who have passed using their platform. And they're trying to build something meaningful that is not just drop the token, let it go to zero, and too bad, so sad to the entirety of the people in crypto Twitter. And so I actually understand both those sides. I'm not saying that the one side is wrong. And this is like kind of the point FFV said, and then we'll get to hands. He said, no matter what you guys are getting, or you guys aren't a bunch of yes men. These are conversations that are important. I'm IO, right? It's like in his opinion, which I appreciate. Cap and I don't do this as a bit. Like he feels one way, I feel another way. It's very similar to the fact that when I thought it was bad, like I didn't have a problem with them not buying a Bored Ape first because I think they'll eventually get one, and they're buying in an order. They're probably looking for specific traits, things like that. When I made that comment, like I didn't win any friends in the Bored Ape community on that. Like it would have been much easier for me with us as a Ape Kid as a sponsor and all the other things, just be like, fuck it, should have bought a Bored Ape and would have gotten a lot more impressions. But sit on the other end of the spectrum, and that is part of the part of the perspective. Let's get some hands in this though, because obviously it's a hot button topic. Let's get Luca in here, and then we'll go back to Joey Valls. Luca, get in here, GM.
Hey, Jim. Thank you for having me on. Just maybe one observation. I've been working in crypto for like 5 years now, and I can give you my experience with, let's say, airdrops or point collections and stuff like that. You got to think of this as a campaign. No campaign is tailored to everybody. Some people want to trade. Some people want to get, let's say, points that way. Other people want to do social media tasks, which other people hate, especially developers and, let's say, high-end stakers, high-end traders, stuff like that. You're never going to hit all the people, but what you will hit is a nerve. And they hit a nerve with you guys, which is amazing because they have good marketing and bad marketing, which is all amazing marketing because you guys are talking about it. So they already won. And if you want to collect points or badges or treasure chests, or if you don't, then don't. But bottom line, it worked. So that's just my take. Thanks.
Luca with a very balanced take, by the way, basically being like, how about the most calm down everybody take here to be like, guess what? People put a rewards program. It's going to be for some people. It's not going to be for others. One of you likes it. One of you doesn't. Welcome to how rewards programs are structured. And you're right. Like it happens all the time with other rewards programs I do where I'll do something and someone will like the way it's structured and other people won't. And that's it. And to your point, we're talking about it. We're giving perspectives. And it is funny, like to put it that way, at its simplest form, companies build reward structures. Some people like them, some people don't. And some people are fans, some people aren't. And like I saw the chests, I get excited about badges, earning towards them, and other people aren't, and they're worried about it. Saw that Von Frunten, I think very similar, had a similar thought to me in the chat about, how people are approaching it. So I get it. The historical volume, I think, is the crux of the thing here, where people are worried about what that means for that airdrop, where they're feeling like, and so we'll have a much better idea, one, when the airdrop comes and people feel either satisfied or not, two, what the rewards are when these chests come out. So we're going to have to wait and see on both of those. Because, to your point, if I do a bunch of volume now on the program and it means more than the historical program, I can understand. But like if it's proportionate, I was going to try to make the analogy and I couldn't land the plane on it, where it's like if I run a 9-minute mile for 3 miles and then I run a 6-minute mile on the last mile, those first 3 miles still count for, if they count for the same, I'm not getting a faster time on my 4-mile time. And like, I think if they do it that way with the volume, then we don't have a lot to worry about. And it's just, it is what it is. It's they're trying to get people using the platform. Joey Valls, go ahead and get in here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking the perspective, like, I'm not a big trader. I don't have a ton of liquidity. So my perspective on all of this, like even when the first set of XP launched, was I'm just going to do what like I'm comfortable doing, and my reward will be based on that. So I didn't go out of my way. Like I got tired of buying the $5 NFTs, and so I stopped doing those for 50 XP. You know, I never bought any of the gaming stuff, which was 100 XP or 150 XP. And it's going to be the same for me now. Like I don't buy and sell a lot. I don't swap a lot. I don't really do much. So I'm going to do whatever is normal for me, and my reward will probably be based on that. And I think if people take that approach, they won't be as disappointed with what their reward is, essentially, right? Like if you're gonna change your behavior and go out of your way, there's a really good chance you're gonna be disappointed. Because you're going above and beyond what you would normally do, which means your expectation is probably gonna be above and beyond, and then you're probably gonna get disappointed. So my advice is just do what you normally do, and your reward will reflect what you normally do. And the other thing I'll say is these are loot boxes. Essentially, is what they are, right? They've gone to their loyalty system is just loot boxes.
Yeah, and look, I mean, at the end of the day, like this is a position where I don't envy being the OpenSea team because it's so highly anticipated, and because it was the platform everybody used, because it was the safe place to buy, sell, and trade NFTs in the in the early stages of the boom. Like B Epic said in the chat, it will clearly be weighted toward today or users that are currently here. Why reward someone who hasn't used your platform in 3 years? On the flip side of that, I also understand the other perspective where people would say like, hey, we helped build your platform. Why not reward me for helping build your platform as a beta tester? Because as Cap always says, and I agree, being a beta tester in Web3 tends to get you paid because you are using protocols and spending money. So it's just, I think this is such a hot button issue because of the history there, because I do find myself like looking back and saying every single, and it like when Abstract was dishing out XP, which it's nebulous XP that we don't know how it's gotten, every person who would put a thread out, like buy this, do that, buy this, do that. It was like, great, love this. And if someone's like, hey, this NFT is $11, you need to buy a gaming NFT over $10, buy it, and you cover, 2, journeys or 2, OpenSea voyages, people are like, oh, this is extractive, this is wash trading, this is that, and the other. It's like, it is very similar to other programs. It's just, it's such a hot button issue because of the nature of OpenSea, I think, because of the history of OpenSea. And like I said, I understand the perspective of people who are like, I just want my historical volume to get rewarded. I don't want to play all these games and jump through these hoops. But I also understand there are other people who do. And I think Mark put it well that it's going to cater to some people. It's not going to cater to others. They want people currently using the platform. They want people using more products on the platform. And so, we'll see how they go. The good news is 30 days till chest open, update in October on TGE. So we'll figure out what that is from the foundation and see what happens there. But Cap, I know that was a lot. Do you want to reset daily market update and then we'll talk through some other stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8chain, we bringing the heat. NFT trends alpha, never miss a beat. 8chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop off for one time.
It's time for the daily market update, brought to you by ApeChain, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing fun, culture, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. I'm getting my what Cap's memorization of the opening must be contagious because I have no idea where my notes are, and I just did that off the dome. So somehow we are getting it. Also the home of our badge collecting challenge, which by the way, op.xyz/claim CWC 916. CWC 916 is your code today. I think some of you already figured it out. CWC 916.
Home stretch. Only 3 to go.
3 to go. Get on there. Get your badges, Cap. Let's get it going.
Yeah. So starting with majors today, Bitcoin up 1% to 115.41. ETH flat at 4,500. I don't know if I finished this story. You asked me earlier about perps and am I in a trade? Yeah, but I actually closed half of my ETH long last night before I went out, just because I wasn't sure. I feel comfy. Like if I was able to stay dialed into, this computer up until, the few hours I would sleep, I would have just left the whole thing open, but I didn't want to risk some flash crash down, sub 4,400 and error on liquidation. So I actually closed half my long just so I lowered that liquidation threshold. But yeah, it's just you can't really step away if you're gonna, unless you get your levels are fine. But if you're gonna really lever up and be aggressive, you got to keep eyes on it. So probably open up another one today or tomorrow morning. Anyways, XRP up 2% as well to 304. Solana flat at 235. Doge up 1% to 26, and Cardano also up 1% to 87. Pump gave back 1%, but still up big over ICO price. Pingu up 1%. Meme Core still hitting the volume leaders. Pepe up 1%. Sheep flat and Doge up 1% as well. Scrolling up to our favorite NFTs. No idea what Mirandus is, unless it is unless it's the OpenSea farm of choice today. Go get your wash trading on. Appears to be getting as much volume almost as not quite, but almost as much as the Genesis or DX Terminal, which we also know to be a wash trade OpenSea farm. Moonbird's down 1%, almost 2% to 2.49. Pingu Clash, I don't know what this one is. Lil Pudgy's flat at 1.221. Quite a bit of volume. Rare Pepe's maybe also part of that OpenSea farm as well, based on number of trades and low floor price. Apes, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Apes are basically flat at 8.95. Shrimpers up slightly from their mint price at 0.2 and continue to see traction in volume. Did it reveal yet?
No, but they're doing
They did. So I have no idea what's going on with this collection. I have no idea what's justifying a $1,000 floor, but congratulations, everyone in Shrimpers. I guess you're up a little bit. But that's our daily market update, brought to you by ApeChain, the home of the Coffee with Captain Badge Collecting Challenge. op.xyz/claim CWC 916.
916.
916 is the code for today. Go get those 3 remaining. If you've missed any, you can go purchase those on a secondary market. You just want to make sure you use Magic Eden and pay their 2% fee. And I'm kidding. It's a joke. Go farm, go actually overpay for a Coffee with Captain badge to qualify for the $5 OpenSea voyage today.
$1 million on a OpenSea badge, and OpenSea gets you that chest. I will be listing mine very high. No, I'm just kidding. I want to have these as collectibles, and how it is how I am programmed. I just can't help it. It's but yeah, no, I feel like I have a question on, oh, go ahead.
In all seriousness, I have a question, an OpenSea question, actually, a legitimate one. This is, it's got to be an official. I don't know what Yumio is. Is this a grab a merch for your Mio free wearable drop live now? Like, do you know what Yumio is? I guess this is just minting a free.
I think it's a free wearable for some sort of NFT collection that they probably had a partner with. So I minted it because it was free. I was like, well, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with, or I was going to ask you, yeah, CWC 916, to those who are asking, see some people asking, CWC 916 should get you done on the farm. If you're looking for that, number, but yeah, Cap, you mentioned you closed your long. So like
just half of it.
How do you,
only because I was going to be out. I mean, I basically wasn't going to be in, I actually was present and not looking at my screens from say 3 p.m. till 5 a.m. this morning, and I just didn't want a sweat that I wasn't going to be actively sweating. So I just was. Last time I did this, though, things ripped. So fortunately, they didn't rip. I'll probably just reopen it right back where I closed it.
Yeah, I mean, either way, like I get the idea. It's like sometimes there are times when I've closed LPs and things overnight when they're super tight. Although I've gotten more comfortable as I've learned that. I have a question for you. It's a very random question, but it's something that I've seen on the timeline that's been debated. A lot of people in the InfoFi stuff will tag, these are the top info 5 people on Wall Chain, the top info 5 people on Kaido, whatever. And I rank on a lot of these leaderboards. So, not most of them don't pay me any money, but like I'll get like the top voices in myriad markets, the top voices in this. Ooh, I fell, by the way, in the raid leaderboard. Tebow now number 2, and I am sitting at number 6. So you are moved up. Oh no, never mind. It reset. I'm number 2. I like when you get tagged these things, I don't care that bots are replying to me. I don't care that people tag me in them. Why do people and look, I am a small account, right? So I'm not like a Clemente. I'm not an ICO beast. I'm not a Vo. I don't care. Like, who cares? Like, why? Like, why do I care? Like, people get really mad about this. Like, I don't know. Like, they're like, hey, you're the top voices. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was ranking for myriad markets. That's interesting. Like, oh, you're the top voice of Polygon. I'm like, oh yeah, how about that? Look at me with the team. That's pretty cool. Like,
they're just working. They're just farming. They're just a smaller creator trying to get the attention of someone who's ranking in the top 10. So they're tagging you all and like, okay, cool, congratulations, get your hustle on, and thanks for including me with these legends. That's usually my default response. Thanks for including, even though it's just a leaderboard list. Thanks for including me with these legends.
But like honestly, like I want to say, like it's just like I'm getting visibility with like the Polygon CEO and Sandeep, and they to be fair, like I've been Polygon bull since before their Kaido leaderboard, so like I've
big hire yesterday, by the way.
What's that?
Announced a big hire yesterday.
Had it on my list. I actually have it pulled up because I thought we could hit on it, but like I've liked them, so like Sandeep and Mark have followed me anyway, but like I'm getting tagged in a tweet with Sandeep and Mark. Like, I'm getting visibility. They're probably looking at that and being like, who are these people talking about Polygon? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a small account that cares about that sort of stuff. But I like that stuff. Like, I like the fact that, like, in like more people within these brands are on the same page as me. Anyway, that's interesting. We're talking about the Polygon piece though, real quick. Maybe we can hit on this briefly. And get on this, and then any other topics we want to hit on because you mentioned it. Polygon hires John Egan, Stripe's former head of crypto, as Polygon's Labs chief product officer as we continue to accelerate our global payment strategy. He's going to lead Polygon's product vision, bringing a deep expertise in digital asset integration and innovation that will help deliver institutional grade infrastructure for the next generation of financial experiences. A lot of words there, but I actually kind of like the way they're saying that, like big flowery language about crypto. You always get me on that. He will champion products that make stablecoin adoption easy, global and interoperable via ag layer, which is sort of a layer that combines all of the blockchains to work better together, redefining how value moves across the internet. I put on this, feels like an impactful hire by Polygon. He was part of the acquisition of Bridge, the acquisition of Privy, and according to Polygon CEO Mark, if you don't know Mark Binion, the Polygon CEO, he's going to be, frankly, very, very impactful in all of our payment efforts, which makes sense coming from Stripes. I just thought anytime you hit a frankly and a double very in a quote, because most quotes are very professional and buttoned up. He hit a frankly and a double very, pretty big. Hiring someone from the world leader in payments, strong indicator that they're going to level up their payments. And Polygon feels like it has a lot of motion right now. But thoughts on that? I mean, like, big hire.
Yeah, no, they do have a lot of motion. And I said yesterday that 2021, it was Matic at the time. The ticker was Matic. The Polygon token, Pol now, was the first L2 trade I ever got in because it had a lot of motion back then. It had Zed and it had all these big brands launching on Polygon, and it just more and more and more. They had an incredible biz dev team, and a lot of these big brands were going there to launch. And while some of those have moved on, while some have went to other chains, some have left the space, they don't have the same motion. It certainly feels like they are getting it back. It's just different. And I haven't really even given it conscious thought. I'm like kind of wordsmithing this right now as I think through it. But it's like, name off the top of your head, what are the top three protocols of this cycle, as far as just overall? What are the top two that come to your mind?
Well, Hyperliquid. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about like this cycle in particular,
Yep.
Hyperliquid.
It doesn't have to be created this cycle. Just have had like they're having breakouts this cycle.
Well, I mean, like ETH and Solana and Hyperliquid, if you're going that way. I mean, ETH kind of broke out, so probably not fair. Solana, I'd say, is getting a lot of movement, but it's not an all-time high.
I'm thinking more depth at the application layer.
Oh, got you. So you're thinking like prediction markets like Polymarket. You're thinking like, got it. Yeah.
Hyperliquid, Pump Fund, and Polymarket.
Got it. Perfect.
Where's Polymarket? Everyone, like often you hear people talk about Pump Fund and it's almost synonymous with Solana, or people talk like the success Pump Fund is having is very bullish Solana. This is a fair statement, right? Like people
absolutely
attribute Solana volume and Solana success is being driven partially, not entirely, but it's certainly being bolstered.
Well, no, people made a bear case. People made a bear case against Solana when they thought Pump was going to launch a chain. Remember?
Yeah, exactly. So people talk very favorably on Solana because of the success Pump Fund is having, the volume and the motion and the attention Pump Fund has. It is a net positive for Solana. Similarly, Hyperliquid, people are bullish on Hyper EVM, I think, and the other apps that are being built on Hyper EVM, like Project X and others, I think largely because of Hyperliquid and the success Hyperliquid is having. In fact, I would say Project X probably doesn't exist, at least not on Hyper EVM, if not for Hyperliquid. So basically, my point being is, if we have the consensus top 3 performing applications this cycle are Hyperliquid, Pump Fund, and Polymarket. For the cases of the first 2, those chains get a lot of credit and a lot of attention. I'm not even exaggerating. I can't think of one singular moment where someone's talking about how Polymarket and prediction markets and Polymarket's the leading, prediction market, or it's a 2-person race between it and Kalshi. Polygon is rarely, if ever, mentioned. And if it is, it's almost in passing, nothing near like how the credit Solana gets or the bullish sentiment Solana gets because Pump Fund being there. Explain this to me. And it's even partially in the name. Like the names start with the same 3 letters. Like how is it? Is this just odd to you, or am I the only one?
I've always found it odd, but I also think that people, when they think of Polygon, I think part of the problem is people in our space. Look how long it took us to go from MetaMask to Rabby and all these other things. People in our space have these historical perspectives of what things are in the space, right? And it's like when people think of Polygon, they might think about this, right? A Polygon wearable from a Decentraland. They might think about this, a blurry Jimmy the Monkey that you maybe won in a treasure hunt, right? They think about these sort of things versus thinking about it as the junk NFTs you would get remember there was a time when we say gas is a feature, not a bug, because of the junk NFTs we were getting before things were hidden and not shown forward. And so I think people have an association with Polygon. I think Polygon has an opportunity to do the Old Spice. And by that, I mean Old Spice, when I was growing up, was your dad's sort of aftershave that had a smell to it that made you uncomfortable because you're like, oh, it smells like my dad and old people and my grandpa. Old Spice rebranded in the 90s, in the late 90s, early 2000s, to the guy on the horse with new products. They rechanged their look and feel, and they became products that, like I use Old Spice deodorant. I'm sure a lot of other people do too. Their products became, synonymous with a younger generation. I think Polygon needs to Old Spice because I think Polygon is at a point where people think of them in one type of way from our generation, and then we pass that down to other people. And what they don't realize is that they have a tremendous amount of stable coins. They have more USDTO than anybody. They've got, they're working on the ag layer. They've got Polymarket. They launched Katana in the Polygon Labs, which is a very consumer-friendly DeFi app. They've got Billions. They've got Mitin. They're making giving private blockchain opportunities to people. All of these things that exist on Polygon that maybe people don't think about it. By the way, are we forgetting about, actually, as soon as I was going to say it, Courtyard is on Polygon. Look, I know we tend to be a busy shop. It's our friends. We love Andrea, Joey Valles, and the crew. Courtyard's cooking. Normies can get RWAs, and they understand that. All of these things are on there. And so it's like Polygon has DeFi applications. They're crushing stablecoin and working towards payments. They've got RWAs, which is a major application, and they've got prediction markets. Like, who has more motion than that right now as a blockchain?
Well, and maybe this is maybe Steve, this is actually part of the strategy. Maybe that this is I think really good take by Meta here in the chat. I think I'm quoting. I think Polygon has achieved what most layer ones want. They want you using their chain without even knowing you're on their chain. That is huge. So while I think it's odd that no one gives Polygon credit when they're talking about the massive success Polymarket has had, maybe that's exactly what they want.
I mean, you got people cooking Disney pins right now on Flow and they don't get love either, right? It's like people that Flow and they're like, NBA Top Shot, I lost money, right? And it's like, that's what they think when they Flow. They don't think about Ticketmaster. They don't think about their DeFi. They don't think about, Ticketmaster issuing more NFTs than anybody. They don't think about, any of the products that Flow. They don't think about more markets. They don't think about any of the things that Flow is doing now with, they have the NFL, the NBA, and Disney under their properties. They think about, oh, I lost some money on an NBA Top Shot in 2021, so I'm not happy, right? So I think like people lose that point. I mean, look, you're preaching to the choir. I stake on Polygon native on their site. They make it really easy. Those work towards airdrops on top of earning that yield. I use Katana. Like I use Polygon's products and enjoy them. And so, I accidentally finished in the top 25 for Katana. I didn't know Katana had a Kaido program.
All right, I'm convinced. Don't do this. Please do not do this because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm certainly not your financial advisor. And the one thing I do remember about Polygon is their tokenomics are a little different. They did at least at one point have a lot of unlocks that create a lot of sell pressure. So do your research. I'm doing this purely on vibes. I'm going to open up a Polygon long right now as we're talking about it. So we're gonna go live long shopping here.
I thought you were about to bring a full circle and say that you're gonna like fire off $1 million on Polygon on OpenSea and get yourself to that high box. And
most I can do is 5x, but we'll fire off a 5x long on Polygon here. I just like the thing is like I very bullish sentiment. No, I'm actually not bullish sentiment. I am bullish on the fact that it's kind of flying under the radar. Therefore, I think it could be a profitable trade. I'm bullish the motion they have, the attention, the volume they have, the big names they have, and I don't know, man. Maybe the downside risk here. Maybe Polymarket launches their own chain. I don't think so. Why would they need to get into that? Like they're in a massively competitive race right now with Kalshi, and they're way ahead of Kalshi when it comes to on-chain adoption, as far as I can tell. So it's like I think they're in a good spot. Why try to ruffle the feathers? This is probably another conversation, but I do think it'd be worthwhile going into the great prediction market wars. We talk about Myriad in passing here as kind of like the crypto native darling, but the reality is Polymarket is the crypto native darling. Kalshi was anti-chain for a while. Now they're trying to embrace the crypto world. But I said I think this is our current version of DraftKings versus FanDuel, and you're going to see it everywhere. You're going to see, I think there's a world where just like you couldn't turn on the TV without seeing a DraftKings or FanDuel ad for a while. This is like the difference is the TAM here, the total addressable market for prediction markets. So I don't know, like if Bunchu's out there, what do you think? Like 10x at least the size of DFS as far as like the total market size goes.
It's everything.
Every market, literally every market. Like it's just, anyone that wants to gamble or anyone that wants to place a bet on anything, whether it's sports or anything else, that's the addressable market for this. Like it's massive, so much larger than fantasy sports. I know DraftKings and FanDuel have both expanded beyond traditional daily fantasy sports, but during the DFS wars, that's all it was. Like this market is arguably already bigger today. Polymarket and Kalshi arguably bigger. And I had to look at numbers, but it feels to me like it's anecdotally bigger than what DraftKings and FanDuel were at the peak of their marketing wars, customer acquisition wars.
Yeah, I that's a really good, interesting way to think about it because, like to your point, like I think like that's what it is. Everything. It is everything in your life that you can bet on. The price of the iPhone, the tricky part with this is it needs to be. This is the tricky part with something like with Polymarket and Myriad and Kashi and all of them. Is the tricky part is there are people who know the answer to the question on the test. And you need to make sure that you are paying attention to that the same way, though, that you need to make sure that the friggin' Cleveland Guardians pitchers aren't shaving points, right? Like it's the same sort of deal, or tipping pitches and things. So I think it's the same sort of deal as that to a degree. But there are people who know the outcome of some of these versus like presidential elections, sporting events, pricing on crypto, things like that. Like those are all, and so like the sky is the limit on them. And yeah, I mean, look, Polymarket got the all clear to operate in the United States, right? Like that's a big one. So I would say this is only going to continue to grow, and yeah, built on Polygon. And I don't see why, I mean, what are they going to do? Like change the chain, or like we're going to be go from Polygon to we're going to create Polychain. It's like you talk about treasure, man, that's a confusing one. So I don't think they would do it. So I agree with you. It's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way of them being that noteworthy, but I think you're probably right. But yeah, Polygon doesn't get enough love. They deserve a little more. And they're also active, by the way. We talk about OpenSea. I see Polygon's official account in spaces or talking or hosting all the time. Like all the time. I go and I click on it and I'm like, oh, they have a little circle thing. They're on a space. So they're also active. So yeah, Polygon, Purple Chain, doing well, making the efforts. You love to see it. What else we got, Cap? We got, I know we have about a half hour left. Again, like calm before the storm, so I'm always cool. I always say like, if we end early, we end early, and then we usually end up running long. But I also need to go shopping to eat today. I am, by the way, down in about 2 weeks. I'm down over 5 pounds, so that's good.
Solid.
Going to shoot for, it's encouraging, makes you want to keep up the, I'm weight loss farming. Makes me want to keep up the meats, the chickens, the non-meals. Like even the other day, I wanted to put rice with something, and I was talking to ChatGPT about it, and it basically was like, look, you can. It's going to slow your weight loss for 24 to 36 hours. It's not going to derail you completely. You're going to lose weight slower. You told me you're trying to do a crash diet because I told you to be like serious with me, and it's like, I mean, you told me you're trying to do a crash diet, so it's a no-no. Absolutely not. Like, and it gives me like absolutely not no-nos on things. I'm like, what about this as a dessert, like a sweet thing? Can I have some honey or something? It's like, you can have one of your chocolate protein shakes and maybe mix in half a banana. Like it's like ChatGPT is like fucking David Goggins yelling at me at this point, and it's working. So I'm here for it. Other things I had, Coinbase, potential token. They floated the idea of a token.
Program token. Like I don't think they say that if it's not a 75% greater chance of launching. It's on the official handle now. It's not only did Jesse announce it, like he's the second coming of Steve Jobs announcing the first iPhone, but even Armstrong reposted it. Like I be wild if they don't drop a token at some point now.
Yeah. It's it would be crazy if they didn't drop a token, because once you say that, like I thought the same thing. I saw it. I'm like, there's no way they put out this tweet unless they're like nearly 100% going to drop a token. So I don't know. I'm not going to do well on the base token unless here's my rant. Base token should consider Coinbase historical activity. Then I will be all in on a base token. If base token considers Coinbase historical activity, I'll be in much better shape because I've been using Coinbase since 2016. In fact, they should prioritize those who made a swap in 2016 and 2017. That would be awesome. And I'm not saying that tongue in cheek or as a joke. I actually think that would be a move for them that would get a lot of people very happy. A lot of the boomers who use Coinbase wouldn't even claim it. And for those who do use Coinbase as an on-ramp and off-ramp, it'll be a nice move on base. But I'm sure it'll be just base chain activity, which I use some dapps, but I'm guessing my base token drop would be significantly less. So saw that. And outside of that, I mean, I had some evergreen topics we don't really need to get into today. Probably show you a couple things. One other thing I'll show you that I think might be worth putting up. I tweeted this one yesterday, but I thought this was interesting. Let me find it. So this banker bot thing I saw from Deployer, who we might be having on the show. We're seeing if we can swing it. I saw Deployer, yo, banker bot, what's the P&L on my Cowboys position? That was a close one. Nice one. Your Cowboys position is up $20, 40%. Hell yeah, let's cash that out. Cash out your winnings via Polymarket transaction on Polygon. We have a AI agent working as a cross-chain tool, Base, Polygon, ApeChain, Solana, automated work across it. I like BankerBot, man. I think it's cool.
Yep. Pretty sweet. Like genuinely really cool tech. Not exactly, but kind of in the same vein, I think this is breaking news coming from Fortune. Google releasing AI payments protocol that includes support for stablecoins. Partners include Coinbase and Salesforce. I mean, this is what we're heading into. And the fact that Banker is beating players like Google to the punch with this sort of stuff. It's like we talk often about having a front row seat here to emerging tech. Like there's pretty proof point. Meta 8 and the BankerBot users have been tipping us in BankerBot for months, and now Google getting on board with similar AI agent mechanics to send payments as well. So yeah, just exciting times. And I think like this actually quote is sticking with me here from Meta about we talk so often like you need to hide the tech. You need to make it to where the user just looks and feels like a Web2 interface. They don't use just tag BankerBot, tell them to send a tip. Like it just works. Like it's pretty wild how far the tech has come. And most of this cycle has been talking about, as we mentioned, things like prediction markets and pump fund and hyperliquid. Privy doesn't get enough love. Like the underlying tech really has made tremendous advancements, leaps and bounds as far as making it really, truly functionable for a normie.
You know how I know it? We're back to is yesterday I walked my dog for 2 miles. It's like a 40-minute walk. During that walk, I didn't listen to music. I didn't listen to podcasts. I basically talked to myself and worked out ways to explain blockchain, NFTs, crypto, and this whole economy to people in a understandable way. Like I sat there for 40 minutes and then proceeded to do it again for 20 minutes on my way to Starbucks. Like I am fully locked in again on this is happening and how it happens. And I thought about the adoption risk, the adoption curves. I don't know if it becomes an article. I don't know if it becomes a video. I don't know what it becomes. But I started thinking to myself, I'm like, we are back in this sort of heating up like category where I started thinking to myself, how am I going to, like, I started thinking to myself, like, how am I going to explain this if I talk to somebody outside of Web3 again, whether it's speaking at a university, whether it's talking to my friends? How do I explain it? What are the analogies I use? And how do I explain crypto and the underlying technology? Because it is now seemingly imminent that we're going to see it everywhere and the genie is out of the bottle. What does that do for our bags? Probably less than somebody coming up and lowering rate cuts a percentage of a percentage. But yeah, it's Be Epic. Steve is Steve's best friend. Yeah, I don't have a lot of friends, Be Epic. I'm on crypto Twitter all day and in a basement. I pretty much get off this show, go and eat my food, work on a couple things throughout the day until my kids come home. And so a couple text messages here and there, but we make it work. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It's exciting times, and I think what you said, like what Polygon's achieving, I think like I get the impression Flow's on the same journey where they're like, we want to highlight the dapps and therefore Flow will be successful.
Yeah. And the other, by highlighting those dapps, they are highlighting their builders. And I think that's the other thing, like the builder attention is probably also not getting enough credit for that both of those chains are getting.
Also, it just goes to show, like, I feel like you have these communities around things like Mega ETH and Monad and and Abstract. I'd be curious what method works in the long run, because I feel like, to your point, Polygon provides a service and an opportunity for people. Flow does as well. Flow is like the #1 developer resourced community or something. I forget what it was, but basically like they have more developer growth on Flow than any other blockchain in the past like 6 months. I want to say it was. Don't quote me on that. And then Abstract and Monad, Mega ETH, on the other hand, are pushing all in on-chain communities. Curious to see which one works out, or if it's like just it is what it is. Like, there are always going to be chain communities, like, and those are the nerds, the Comic-Con nerds who love a chain. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see what happens there. But what else you got? Anything else, Cap, or do you want to let people get off into their day?
I pinned up top it's very long. I didn't read the whole thing, but from Circle's CEO, just says Circle and USDC expansion with Hyperliquid. Today marks major milestone our expansion engagement with Hyperliquid ecosystem, the official launch of native USDC on HyperEVM, bringing the world's most reliable liquid, interoperable, and globally available dollar stablecoin to the community. Additionally, in the coming weeks, we'll be able to enable direct deposits interoperability with Hyperliquid on Hypercore. Alongside this launch, Circle is now a direct stakeholder in the Hyperliquid ecosystem with our first Hype token investments alongside a comprehensive program to work with the most innovative builders in the community. We're also evaluating the possibility of becoming a validator. So just, again, more bullish. Hyperliquid is the TLDR here. Circle making moves into that ecosystem. Yeah.
It's just funny because Circle's like, there's a lot of volume going on with those crazy motherfuckers. We got to get in on that. And they did. So good for them. And they should. Big fan of Circle. Like I said, like, it's so funny. I had lunch with somebody I knew from high school. We weren't in the same friends group or anything like that, but we both realized we were in crypto. You might have met him at an NFT NYC actually at one point, but he worked at Circle, and I'm like, oh, Circle, that's kind of cool. Like, stable coins, a little boring. You know, I mean, NFTs, it's really fun. Like, not necessarily my jam. A few years later, I wish I asked him for a job because, yeah, right now I'd be doing quite well following that video.
Another Coinbase announcement here is this just came out as we started the show. I don't know what it means, but apparently you can collect passport stamps on chain built by American Express. Could be cool.
Go. I love that.
Cool, right? Could be really cool. Could be nothing, and they kill it in a few years. But another big announcement, another big partner there. And to your earlier question or comment on Base and their token, I mean, that's, I think, the biggest question and maybe the biggest hurdle is how they get around dropping a token while they have actual shareholders. And some comments that, you know, they should reward 1-to-1. They should reward, you know, every shareholder should get token allocation. I think they will reward not only Base usage. I think they'll reward Coinbase users as well. I think they'll reward Coinbase shareholders. I think they'll have to maybe do that claim on Base. I think it'll be I mean, it could be a very good customer acquisition or migration, expansion. I don't know the proper word for it, but basically take a traditional Coinbase user, a Coinbase SEX user, and get them on Base. I think a token probably is the biggest carrot they could have to do that. And still, I would bet that more than 50% never claim it. Never, you know, more than 50% of those Coinbase historical users never do actually go claim their airdrop or their whatever tokens they'd be eligible for. But yeah, I think there's a world where all historical, not only historical Base activity gets rewarded, but potentially the Coinbase volume, as you mentioned, including those that hold shares. I'm
trying to find right now, by the way. I'm trying to find right now as we speak. I agree, number one, with everything you said. I was kind of searching around too to find this American Express thing. I literally had a long tweet about Delta should do this, right? Like this is like I had a long tweet. Someone got in an argument with me actually because they said that I was AI because I responded of why the blockchain was good. Yeah, I talked about yeah. Okay,
I just put that up for anyone that wants to go take a look. Also, they just announced congratulations to our Canadian friends. Apparently, they just turned on interest for Canadian users on just USDC, where apparently per Brian Armstrong anyways, says the interest rate for most checking accounts in Canada is 0. That makes 0 cents. So from today, all Canadians earn 4.1% uncapped rewards on USDC on Coinbase and up to 4.5% on Coinbase One. I don't know why you would hold like in a non-interest bearing account. I don't know why you would hold cash in a non-interest bearing account. I could be wrong here. I'd have to check it. I'm not really concerned either way. I think they're safe, but I think even those Coinbase, if you hold USDC in a Coinbase account, is there any FDIC insurance there or no?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe they have the whole account insured up to a certain amount. So like that would be the advantage for people. So as well. But yeah, I agree with you.
Same protection as a bank, as a traditional checking account with 0%. essentially, right?
Right. I think so. I believe so. I'll double check. I believe so, but someone would have to correct me on that, so don't take our word for it. To your point, I realized recently how little of my capital is sitting in cash outside of stables, which are also doing work, by the way. And obviously there's risk and protocol risk and things that go aside associated with that. But like, I kind of keep in my account when I need to pay bills, the little bit of, cushion, and everything else is put to work. Like when I think about like, oh my God, like, we need to get the next sponsorship, or I need to get the next job, or I need to get the next thing, or else like, can I continue to do this? I have a large runway. It's just earning me more money with the hope that the upside eventually comes and makes it so that runway gets even longer. And I realize that, like, to your point, like why people hold money in a checking account earning 0.000%. Stablecoins go and do the same thing as your bank, but they give you the money back with it and then some. So I don't know. Or like, again, I'm using the Katana Vault. I tweeted about it this morning. By the way, this is kind of cool. Katana, I was on their Kaido leaderboard. They just distributed my rewards into my vault. So it just starts earning interest and farming towards Katana. Could I take it out? Sure. But like putting it in there, it's like productive TVL. It's working towards that. And I sit there and like, I'm earning yield on my stables. I'm earning towards an airdrop. It's like, you just have so much work you can do in crypto right now. So I don't know. It's just, I think to your point, like when you leave stuff just kind of like sitting around, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't do much. By the way, Meta 8, hilarious simulation moment. Meta 8 did a BankerBot Old Spice AI video this morning. So like as soon as I'm talking about like Polygon needs an Old Spice, you need to do the Old Spice thing. His head was in Old Spice as well. So
amazing,
interesting stuff. Proof of simulation confirmed. Yeah, man, a lot going on.
I'll look for a post here in a sec, but per Be Epic, reliable source in the abstract chat, says Michael Saylor to help create a Bitcoin reserve for the United States. Major news.
He's meeting with Cynthia Lummis, who already is in favor of it. I thought this, so maybe Be Epic, tell me if I'm crazy on this one. I saw this morning. I thought it was a little bit of a nothing burger because it looks like basically like Saylor's just meeting with Saylor and some other people in crypto are meeting with Cynthia Lummis to discuss the strategic Bitcoin reserve. You don't have to sell her. I mean, it's like, I don't know, like you like it's like being like Cat meeting with Steve to sell him on NFTs. Like you don't have to, like it's Steve meeting with Cap to convince him that coffee is good. Coladas are tasty. Like it's just it's not
Actually, that's exactly what I'm gonna do after the show. I'm Googling it right now. I'm hunting down a Cuban cafe here. I know there's one. I went to lunch. I have to drive. I'm gonna see if I can walk to a Cuban cafe to get a colada. Although the one I would have to drive to downtown, I think I shared previously. It's like, usually you get the colada cup in like 4-ounce cups. They serve this thing in like a full, like regular, like it is massive. So if I send you like a 911 text or later today, it's because I'm en route to the emergency room for heart palpitations.
Yeah, let's do this. Who's out? We still got 108 to give away, by the way. Who's still active in the chat that has not got 108? By the way, tell us now. Show yourselves. We will pick someone to win. I have a couple of people in mind, but who in the chat right now, fire off if you have not won 108 and you are a loyal listener who comments every day on Coffee with Captain. Hit us up and we'll pick one person.
Shout out to Finder Found in the chat. If anyone wants to read up the Coinbase insurance policies, those are dropped there direct from the Coinbase site. Also, Kazi says, not only do you get 4.1% APY on your USDC, you also get 0.5% back in Bitcoin. And this is like, I have other points cards and stuff. This is my favorite one because, like you, I prefer keeping my liquid cash on chain, or in this case, in a DEX that I can do.
What card was that?
My Coinbase debit card. I'm earning almost 5%.
Did you apply for the Coinbase One card?
No, I don't. I need to. This is just the debit card. I get, the 4.5% on any liquid funds there. It's just like the regular 4% interest, and then when I do a spend, I get the cash back in Bitcoin. And it's not like, I know there's other upside, but it's kind of like you, like for just having, I do need spending cash. Like I have, I'm risk on, I've got, I'm allocated. However, I have bills to pay and, dinners to buy, etc. I have to live life. and it's just easier for me. Like I'll have one card I'll spin and then pay it off every month, but the one I still use as much or more often is that Coinbase card, just because again, I'm earning good yield, and I think if you add up the 4.5% back, it's more than my points card. Am I making sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Honestly, like this is honestly, we're like, it's so funny because it's not as if we need more exposure to crypto, but like, in our brains, but what you're saying makes more sense than what I say for the Coinbase One card. My Coinbase One card just giving me more exposure to crypto. You're actually trying to actually be logical about how you earn the yield on top of the money you're earning in the cash back, and you're kind of making it work together. Whereas like my Coinbase One card, I just want Bitcoin for my purchases. I'm basically going to max out my Delta card to get to diamond status. And then after that, I'm going straight to Coinbase One because it earns me the same as my Fidelity card, which is 2%, except I can actually get 2.5%, maybe even 3% based on my Bitcoin holdings. I can't remember. I think just 2.5% based on my Bitcoin holdings towards that. So I'm getting a higher percentage cash back, and I'm getting it in Bitcoin, which I think is going to $1 million. I'm not saying not financial advice. I think at some point it will. So I'd rather earn that over the years and do that savings. Funny thing though, Cap, I forgot my credit card got stolen a few years ago. I still have a hold on people being able to like do like a credit check on me or something like that. I have to like unfreeze something in order to get the Coinbase One card. So I applied the second it came out. And then I just remembered when you showed me your Coinbase card this morning, I need to unfreeze whatever that is so I can finish my application because I put in for it. I got approved. So I just need to do it. We got a lot of people in the chat who haven't gotten the 100 apes. So bear in mind, we only get to do 4 more. However, next week, we're going to be starting something else where you might have the opportunity to make some money, although it's going to be a little more risk on for sure.
I love him.
It's the greatest creator of our.
I love him. He's
of our generation.
I assume he's a he. I don't know. I shouldn't make that assumption, but I love Bold. Leonidas is a male name, no?
I think so. Although it's like, isn't Leonidas? I don't know. My history isn't as, but I'm just gonna Google it. I haven't. King Leonidas. It's something to do with gold, I thought, but I can't remember if King Leonidas had something to do with like I don't know, big. I don't know. I have to look it up. I'm not necessarily historical. My brother would know. Let's give the 100 ape to Thomas. Thomas shows up every day, all the time. War Room, asks good questions. Like one of those people that I think Thomas at times will ask a question that I don't have the answer to, and I'm afraid to ask or haven't asked, and Thomas will ask it. So I like that Thomas is willing to speak up, willing to jump in, willing to jump in the chat. We'll do Thomas today. I know we have some other people that we'll try to get, but don't worry. Fear not. Again, next week we're going to be probably almost certainly launching something that will give you the opportunity, a little more risk on, but the opportunity to potentially win some cash as well. So we're going to work that out and figure it out. So don't worry about that. But that said, Cap,
a lot of big Thomas fans in the chat. Big congrats there. Well deserved. And yeah, just shoot me DM me your wallet address. We'll get that over to you. Von Brunton confirming Bold is a British he, no less, does live streamings withdrawing.
I love that people show up to our show anyway, but yet like there are people who theoretically have farmed coffee with Captain to success. Like they show up anyway. It's a great community. We love them all. I know that's not why they're here, but it's amazing when you think about the fact that it's like, thousands of dollars in BZ prizes given away. We've done ENS giveaways. We've done, this giveaway with Ape. We're going to give away thousands of dollars in Ape. We're going to give away $100 every day. We got something coming next week. And it's pretty fun. We've given away NFTs. And so I love this. I love this about the show that we get to do this. It's actually one of my favorite parts is that we get to do it.
As I mentioned, I use that card. Brigadol says Coinbase debit I earned on ETH when it was 1,200 looks really good. Threads at 5,000. I agree. Like I've been having, and I just checked. I thought I might have switched to Bitcoin. My rewards are still ETH, and not quite a full ETH yet, but 4 figures of rewards that are more now because I took them in ETH versus just getting USDC back.
Yeah, I might.
I get it. I could have gotten cash back and immediately taken my 2% and immediately bought ETH and not touched that ETH. It's just
But to your point,
I'm not that. I'm very disciplined when it comes to consistency. Something I do like on an everyday basis. When it's something like reminding myself once a month to take my cash back rewards it's out of sight, out of mind, and go buy ETH with it or the corresponding amount. I just don't do that. This is like forced dollar cost averaging for me, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, my shit had one of the things I used to do with my Fidelity card that I don't do as much anymore, but that's what I used to do with the Fidelity card prior to crypto. That 2% I would take and I would put it in an S&P 500 fund, and then it would compound. And it was like forced dollar cost averaging. And I specifically requested that money go not into a bank account, but instead to my Fidelity account in a brokerage account. But yeah, I mean, cash back, it's generally like, oh, you got like, $13. Do you want to cash it and bring it in and you're like, okay, cool. Versus this just compounds and goes in. It's the same as like I have I don't know if it's a monthly $52 Bitcoin buy, something like that. It's just like, whatever, just goes in there. I kept it at 52. I initially had it at 52 for the Coinbase fees. Now that I have Coinbase One, I don't have fees, but I just kept it at 52 for that little extra juice. But yeah, just, same as that. Anything else on your tick list, or should we let people rock and roll?
Yeah, we need to ask who's watching the Solana Summer Society. I've not seen that one, but I like the support, the creators there, so I'll probably support them and give it a watch later. No, I'll let you get people out of here. The only thing that I can't get out of my mind is how freaking amazing Jameis Winston to the Bengals would be, and the fact that after 2 weeks, the leading passers in the NFL are no other than Russell Wilson and Daniel Jones.
I saw both those stats. First of all, I saw that stat, and yeah, the Bengals, Jameis Winston. I said that on the show yesterday. I blatantly stole it. It was a pardon my take from the show I listened to. They love Jameis because he slings it and he's so fun to watch. But I actually think Cincinnati would be the best destination. The only other destination that hilariously where they don't need him would be good for him is a place like Tampa, because they have a guy like Baker who slings it. Awesome game yesterday, by the way. I actually said to Dawn, we were watching the game. We watched Nick Chubb run it in, exciting for us with the Texans, and they showed Baker on the sideline, and I just look at Dawn, I'm like, Baker fucking lives for these moments.
I also I'll share because it's I say a friend, more like he's not like an acquaintance in the DFS fantasy content creation space that I've been a listener, follower for over a decade. And he had a pretty big cook last night during the game, had a viral post. I'm just going to pull it up so everyone can get it for your viewing pleasure. You would appreciate, but did almost 1 million impressions, which I mean, he's got, I don't know, 50,000 followers, but 68,000 followers actually, almost, approaching 69. This tweet probably gets him to 69. But I just found it hilarious. Says it will never not be funny when Baker is referred to as a comeback story, and the thing he came back from was being a Cleveland Brown.
No, remember when Joe Flacco almost got comeback player of the year over DeMar, because they're like, well, Joe Flacco did they're like, on one hand, a guy died on the field and got brought back to life. On the other hand, made the Browns got to the playoffs. What's more impressive was an actual discussion of whether Flacco or the guy who died was going to get comeback player of the year. Because they're like, well, yes, he died and he's playing professional football now, but Joe Flacco on the Browns. I mean, it's the Browns. Like, that's how bad the Browns are.
And yes, Winston is a turnover machine. It doesn't matter for fantasy and fun. Jameis is just awesome. I think he's my favorite quarterback in the league, probably my favorite player in the league. He's entertaining. He's hilarious. He's a great leader, and he gives no F's. Like, he's going to sling that ball 40, 50 times a game. And yes, might he throw a couple pick sixes? Absolutely. But you know what pick sixes do? Pick sixes lead to fantasy gold. Pick sixes mean he's going to have to throw it another 10 to 20 times to Chase and T. Higgins. And in that offense, like he had the 40-40 season. Like he might go 50-50 with the Bengals if he had a full 17 games. He might throw 50 touchdown passes to that.
I thought that Jameis Winston, like, and I need to find this or something, but I feel like he holds a record where like he's the only quarterback to throw 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in the same game or something like that.
Well, it's 40-40. I think he's the only one ever in the 40-40 club. 40
it was 40-40. That's what it is. It was 40
touchdowns, 40 interceptions in the same season. And while that's maybe not great for your real life football team, it literally is fantasy gold, because it's not only is he throwing a lot of touchdowns, it's if you throw, let's say play this out. You open it up. Your first possession of the game, you throw a pick six. Immediately, the team's down 7-0. They're like in catch up mode. Like and
he's also points farming. If he throws a touchdown, that's 6. If he gets an interception, that's 2. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just they really are. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game environment for fantasy football. He plays fast pace. He's often in catch up mode. And while interceptions aren't great for your real life football team, they're great for fantasy if you have the players on offense, because it's going to put them in most likely in catch up mode and more plays, play faster, and in their case, throw the ball a lot more. So yeah, I hope he gets dealt. I feel bad for Bengals fans. It's just, there's been some good memes around it. I don't know if you saw the one with Burrow. It's just picture Burrow with his number 9 jersey. And it's like Joe Burrow with the number of functioning toes. Some other good memes. But
which is funny because turf toe actually I think is from the bottom of your foot. But
GD's anyone out there that's already down bad with NFL injuries. But
yeah, that's why, hey, Spoiled Banana Society, I'm still alive with my Burrow stacks. And in fact, they cooked last week with Browning. But yeah, I would love to see Jameis. Jameis wash trades fantasy points, basically, is what he does. He wash trades fantasy points with the interceptions and the touchdowns. But no, I would love to see him. I think he's not afraid to throw it up, and you have 2 receivers you can throw it up to, plus some tight ends, and yeah, you just got a lot of weapons there. So I would love to see it. I think that's the move that if I were the Bengals, I would pull. I think it gives them a chance to win. And yes, watch any Jameis pregame speech, and it is the greatest thing you've ever watched. Teammates love him. People love him. Jameis should not be a 3rd-string quarterback on the New York Giants. We just got to stop that. I'm pissed the Browns left him, let him go. And very similarly to, I think it was B Epic who said, like, pretty much a so-so for rounds. So they traded Baker. Look, I did a pep rally with Baker. I like Baker as a quarterback. He got us to the playoffs. He won a playoff game against Pittsburgh. Like, I had no desire to see Baker out of there. So, root for him in Tampa. Love him with Emeka Ibuka catching another TD yesterday. So love to see it. And when they showed his face after Nick Chubb ran that touchdown, and God, I love Nick Chubb. Baker and Nick Chubb on opposite teams scoring the last 2 touchdowns of the game. How about that? Well, the Browns outgained the Ravens and lost by 30, and somehow found a way to lose week 1 by bobbling interceptions and missing 2 kicks. So Browns are still the Browns. They are cursed. And I don't know, the Baker, when they showed his face, I just turned it on. I'm like, he fucking lives for this shit. She had to take a shower. It was like late at night. She had gone to the gym, and she just sat in there, and we watched the last drive, and we're like, fucking Baker, man. Fucking Baker. That 4th down run. Whew. Anyway, let's send everybody off in their day. Appreciate everyone who came through this morning. Good topic, good spirited discussion, difference of opinions there. Remember to claim your badge, CWC 916 at op.xyz/claim. And we will talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I think we have a guest coming on. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.